What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to witness an inmate get questioned about a murder that he's accused of doing behind bars. This episode is a perfect example of how someone can trick their time up. Tricking your time up or messing it up is when you get sentenced to like 5 or 10 years. And when you get to prison, you end up stabbing someone, taking their life. Well, you just tricked it up. You're not going home in 5 or 10. You're probably going to be there the rest of your life. So we're going to witness an interrogation as well as some of the tactics that they use to figure out who killed who in prison. But if you enjoy all things lockup related, this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell if you enjoy yourself, and check out the wealth of playlists for you to start watching today. Alright, let's get into it, man. Already an eerie sight, huh? I used to wake up, make my coffee, look out my cell window, and see a silhouette just like this.
Did you see who did this?
As far as I know, guy named Schultz.
Already, ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all, man, you can't escape the prison or jail snitches. But this is the individual that he named Mr. Jackie Schultz. And he's being accused of killing a man by the name of Tees. But Mr. Schultz is doing a 10-year sentence for an aggravated robbery of a bank. So he doesn't have life, but right now he's walking a thin line because he's accused of taking another man's life. And keep in mind, just someone saying that someone killed someone is usually not enough. Gotta have something else to go with it because, a lot of inmates are liars. And they're trying to get time cuts as well, so they'll jump on a case even if the case ain't started yet. So they're going into Mr. Schultz's cell. See how they have it taped off? It's kind of like a crime scene. Now the squad is using a chemical called luminol to detect trace amounts of blood left at the crime scene. I've never seen this in prison where they come in, spray the little chemical, and light it up with the UV light. I always wanted to do that in the hotels I stay in. God, I know it probably ruined my trip, but still, I gotta know. But this stuff detects blood, so they're going to spray it around the whole cell and see if they can find some blood splatter or something like that around it. Then they'll probably take the DNA from wherever they find the blood and test it to see if it matches Keeg's.
All right, pull that door up, Joe. Let's see where we at.
And it's dark in there. No bueno.
See, there's actually more blood in here than they saw.
Now we're about to witness Mr. Jason Woodall, 20 years under his belt. He's a professional in interrogations, and he's going to try to get Mr. Schultz to confess to the stabbing.
I'm Jason Woodall, Special Agent in Charge. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how you came to be in the Department of Correction?
I'm here on a 10-year sentence. It's for aggravated robbery for a bank. It's going on for parole next year.
Now those tattoos there by your eye, the teardrops, tell me what those mean.
I got a lot of tattoos. I like gangster tattoos, but I don't have any gang tattoos. I'm a man on my own. I really don't need nothing else, no affiliation.
Alright, so not only is the detective trying to get to the root of the story, but he's also trying to tie other things into the situation, like is he a part of an organization? And if he could tie that into some kind of gang activity, then that's just going to give him even more time and help the case when it goes to trial.
Now, you and Teague had problems or what?
Him and a couple of his buddies, probably like a week prior to this, they tried to rob me for my shoes.
All over a funky, dusty pair of tennis shoes. But you know what? I've seen people get really hurt for less in prison. And on the street, actually. But, in a lot of facilities, especially like some jails, you'll go into the jail with your street shoes. And let's say you walk into the cell block with some fresh, crispy Jordans, like Norfolk City Jail cell block. You ain't gonna be wearing them shits for too much longer. I don't know if they still allow people in there with their street shoes, but that used to be an issue back in the day. But it's the same damn way, man. You got anything valuable in prison, just like on the street, someone's gonna want to try to take it up off you.
He just hollered at me and called me into the cell with him.
Okay, so if here's a man that's tried to rob you, all right, so much so that you feel the need to go armed, did you think something was going to happen when you walked in there?
Yeah, not really. I didn't know, but I couldn't just not go up in there because if I didn't, then everybody else that's in the pod would have been like, well, we can do whatever to him. It's kind of like getting called out.
And that's true. Someone invites you into the cell. It might have been on a hostile note. You know, that's one of the first things people do when they get into an argument and they want to fight. They're like, meet me in the cell. If you don't meet them in the cell, you're pretty much getting punked down, looking very extremely weak or scared, and people are just going to feed off of that. They're like sharks in prison. So unfortunately, you know, you got to go into the cell sometimes. And this guy did, and now he's facing a murder charge.
Schultz, I need you to very clearly tell me what happened, step by step.
So I went up in there with him and everything, and then somebody locked the door behind me. He swung at me. We started to fight. And he had got me down in the headlock, and my adrenaline was just going, you know. I just stabbed him a couple times to get him off of me. Once I stabbed him, he kind of backed up in the corner there towards the bed, and I finally got the door buzzed open and went out.
Is that why we got people saying that's how you running from the cell?
Yeah, because he was telling his dudes, get that mother, get him. I remember that being the last thing he said.
Treacherous. But that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Schultz has tricked up his time. He has got a murder charge now, facing life in prison. And it's sad to think, though, because if it did go down like that, then it truly was self-defense. I mean, you go into another man's cell that you already kind of got beefs with, and his homeboy locks you in there. Next thing you know, you're getting beat up pretty bad, and he's got you in a chokehold. Look, I've been in chokeholds before, and it's like life or death situations. You don't know if the guy's going to keep on squeezing. You're at that moment of passing out or dying, and you don't know. You got to do something. One time it was like that, and I ripped the damn cornrow clean out of his hair. It got me up out that headlock. I mean, you got to do anything, right? So this guy happened to have had a weapon. Man, oh man, you really got to think twice when you're in a situation. If you happen to be in prison or know anybody in prison, tell them, man. You really got to think twice about picking up a blade, because it kind of puts you in a different bracket. It's hard to explain, but you're going to be put in a situation sooner or later where you're going to have to say, hey, am I going to pull it out, or am I just going to keep it in the waistband? But if you never had the blade to begin with, you wouldn't have that question to ask yourself. At the same time, you might not have a life left to ask yourself either. So it's a hard situation in prison when it comes to if you want to carry a shank or pull it out during a fight. It's up to the individual. But once you do, chances are these guys have to commit, because now the other inmate thinks that you're going to try to kill him. So that makes him want to try to kill you. Whole nother level of danger you just opened up with that shank. So really think twice. But hopefully you enjoyed, ladies and gentlemen. If you did, like I said in the beginning, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And as always, I salute to every last one of you been supporting me since the beginning, and everybody who's just now joining the lockdown compound. Y'all be safe and stay free.